Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. The Knesset has just passed another law already stirring controversy, this time concerning the city of Jerusalem. The new law now requires a two-thirds majority from the Knesset to approve giving away any part of Jerusalem in future peace deals with the Palestinians, including East Jerusalem, which Palestinians have long hoped to make their future capital. Until now, such a move would have required approval from a 61-member majority of the 120-seat Knesset, but now 80 votes will be needed. Ironically, this vote passed 64 votes against 51, far short of a two-thirds majority. Many see this as a prime example of the law's true alleged goal to ensure that no part of Jerusalem is ever on the negotiating table for future peace deals. Though many Israeli lawmakers clearly see an undivided Jerusalem as the only option in the first place, critics say this law destroys any hope for peace talks with the Palestinians, period, because it effectively ensures East Jerusalem can never be legally transferred to any foreign entity. With the chaos and violence still fresh in everyone's mind on the heels of President Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, many also question the timing of this law. The Palestinians have not yet made any official statement. After a weekend of rocket fire from Gaza, another rocket has just been fired into Israeli territory. The projectile landed in an open field in southern Israel. No damage or injuries have been reported at this time. And as always, the army has retaliated by shelling numerous Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian sources say the response attacks damaged several Hamas military sites, but didn't cause any casualties. Though intelligence suggests that Hamas may actually be trying to contain rocket fire into Israel, the army still holds the terror group responsible for any spillover from Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has come under fire by several Knesset members recently who say his weak leadership has failed to stop the rocket attacks ramping up in recent months. Netanyahu maintains that security has never been stronger, and many argue that pushing things too far could escalate into a war that neither side wants at this time. The Israeli SHIN security services conducted raids last night, breaking up an alleged Hamas terror cell in the West Bank with plans to carry out imminent attacks. 5 members of that same cell were revealed to have been arrested in November, the SHIN said in a statement Monday. Additionally, it was stated that the cell was getting orders from a Gaza-based Hamas member, Abdallah Arar, who was imprisoned for the kidnapping and murder of Israeli man Sasson Nuriel, but then released in 2011 as part of the Gilad Shalit release. The SHIN statement continued, quote, "Recently, there's been a marked increase in motivation by the Hamas high command in the Gaza Strip to encourage terror attacks by their operatives in the West Bank," end quote. The arrested cell was located in the West Bank town of Jabba, north of Jerusalem, and was led by Alaa Salim. At the time of Salim's arrest last night, he was already in possession of thousands of shekels in cash and was with orders from Arar to purchase an M16 and carry out an attack. It looks like Israel's religious Haredi population has just topped 1 million people here in Israel, representing now 12% of the country's population. It's estimated that this ultra-Orthodox sector will make up 16% of the total population by 2030, meaning Haredim will constitute a third of all citizens. While the increase is substantial, at the same time, the fertility rate within the community has been dropping somewhat rapidly. Today, the number of children per Haredi woman averages at 6.9, compared with just 2.4 for non-Orthodox women. Part of what's causing the drop in birth rate is the rise in the rate of Haredi women continuing on to higher education, pushing marriage and childbearing further and further. Additionally, today, 45% of Israel's Haredi community is under the poverty line, 55% of whom are children, and sadly, this is a record low for the sector. New legislation that raises the drafting age for immigrants with medical degrees was set to take effect Monday, but due to major pushback both from the Immigrant Absorption Ministry as well as private groups like Nefesh B'Nefesh, the law has yet to be enforced. According to officials opposed to the bill, the issues are being discussed amicably and professionally, with the effects of the law going on hold until discussions are finished. Currently, new male immigrants with medical degrees under the age of 32 are required to serve in the I.D.F for 18 months. From ages 33 to 38, one would only be assigned to the reserves. But the new legislation obliges both all men and women with medical degrees under 35 to serve a full 2 years, provided the women aren't mothers. This push is one of many made by the I.D.F recently to provide necessary medical skills in the military. There has been a doctor shortage apparently so bad that the army is even crowdsourcing proposals from the public in Tel Aviv today. Still, arguments against the move made in late December said that the new draft requirements would only push people away. Speaking to the Times of Israel Sunday, Nefesh B'Nefesh official Ronen Foxman said, quote, "If you raise the bar from 33 to 36, you maybe get another 10 doctors at most per year, but you might put off the aliyah of another 100, end quote. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.